Hello, and welcome to the Pride Lands of Lioness, Ink, and Insight, a den for honest conversations about creativity, identity, the beautifully chaotic experience of being human, and the occasional feral moment, because sometimes that's the most truthful part. I'm your host, Angelia N. Bailey, author, graphic designer, mom, emotional gremlin with a purpose, and someone who has a lot of thoughts about, well, everything. Thanks for stepping into the den with me. Grab a drink, get comfortable, and welcome to the Pride.
Being a princess, I'd rather be a witch. Trade that throne for a flame and a twitch. You got roots, I got roots. You wear flats, I wear boots. Being a princess.
All right, in today's episode, we're talking about how sometimes someone we love can diminish our voice, the impact that has on us personally, and how that event can eventually affect us creatively. This isn't an interview. This is just two writers sitting with the truth of how others can shape us or silence us and how we find our way back. Joining me today is my friend and fellow author, S.C. Field, not to be mistaken with the erotica author, Sarah Fields. Although we do feature kinky topics on this podcast, this is not that. S.C. Field, also named Sarah, writes dark fiction with a speculative twist and zero erotica. I've had the absolute privilege of reading some of her work, and it's like a murdery warm hug with death. Before we dive in, do you want to introduce yourself in any way or who you are in the writing world and outside of it?
Oh shit, no. Wait. No. You did it great.
Perfect. You can feel free to self-plug anything too if you want, like your
Okay.
stuff on sub or whatever.
I was just at my hubby's dinner party, and he was he's been telling me, he's like, this girl at work wants to read your book and she's so excited for it. So he was so excited for me to meet her at the work party. And I was like 4 cocktails in. Of course, when I met her,
Of
and
course.
a group of other table, like, of people, like, tell me about your book, blah blah blah. I was like, ugh.
That's like the worst question ever, too. Tell me about, I'm
Like,
like, listen, I don't know about my book, okay?
I'm
It's
like,
changed 20 times.
exactly. I'm like, it's I just like mumbled it, and then I started telling about my work in progresses, and it was basically, all serial killers and death and all this, and they're like, oh, they're like, you should be worried, Josh. It's like,
If anyone knows how
it's
to commit
fine.
murder and get away with it, it's authors. We do enough
Exactly.
research.
I was like, oops. Well, I was like, well, good night. Leave everybody with that. Um, but yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about what made you want to have this conversation?
Um, well, I love you, and I want to support your podcast, and this I just feel like it's an important subject to talk about, because I feel like there's been somebody in everybody's life that has stopped them from being their creative self, or said something that affected them to an extremity that they just think their writing sucks, or their anything type of like outlet with art, their paintings, their acting, their singing.
Right.
It's just such a I just don't think people who are not creative as artists and writers, they don't think twice when they say stupid things.
Yeah, no,
And
I get that
some
completely.
of them don't mean it, and some do.
Yeah, I've had someone look at me and tell me it's just a hobby. I need to stop taking it so serious. And then,
Yes, I think we've
yeah,
all heard that. Yeah.
yep. And then I had another person tell me that my books are dust collectors because they think when you write a book, it just magically gets published, it becomes great, or you're nothing as a writer. I'm like, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
So when did you first realize someone you loved was diminishing your voice as a person? Did it happen slowly, or was there a moment that made it clear? And you don't have to identify the person specifically if you don't feel comfortable.
I won't say their name,
Yeah.
but this person was a very important part of my life. They were like a sister to me, best friend. Um, and it just happened. My mom was throwing me an event. My mom put around each table as kind of like a centerpiece, framed poems that I wrote. And my mom has been probably one of my biggest fans, no matter what.
No.
Poetry is my first passion.
Yeah, same.
I've probably been a poet since, yeah, my freshman in high school. And even
Yep.
before that, when I was a kid writing stories. And um, so my mom so it's probably what, about a dozen tables, put a poem on there each. And this person said, your mom is having me print out these depressing poems and put them on, and frame them. And I knew that they knew they were mine, but they weren't saying it directly. It was just like it's stuck in my mind. And I still think about it. Um, and it definitely put a pause on and made me rethink of like, is it depressing, or is it just I just enjoy writing about darker themes? Um, and that's just their opinion, and it hurt my feelings because obviously they knew that those were my poems, but it's just the
Yeah.
way that they said it. Um,
It was
so
just like a careless jab at your work without even
yeah,
thinking
even
it would hurt you.
thinking that it would hurt me, or maybe they did because we're no longer friends or anything. So makes me think back that okay, that was pretty um narcissistic and all that fun stuff. But
Yeah.
anyways, um it probably definitely made me pause on pursuing, getting published with poetry. I've tried, I've gone through so many different outlets of, I queried a children's novel at first, before writing a novel. Um, and that didn't go through. But anyways, I'm going off topic.
You're fine.
I'm just like
Just
mumbling now. I'm like, oh, so that was probably my biggest, you know, thing that stuck with me. Um, and it still does, but doesn't have that negative effect. It has more of that kind of, oh, look where I am now, you
yeah.
know?
So it diminished your voice, but over time you found your voice again, pretty
Yes.
much.
And
Okay.
it's kind of been more of I look back on it and see, that's just one person. Um, and even though it's just that they meant so much to me. Like, it's just that person that you would do anything for, call in the middle of the
Yeah.
night. I'd just be there. Same with them, and it just stinks that it's just all of a sudden, it's just like, bam, gone. Um, and that's
How do you
that.
think that affected you, like outside of creativity, like as a person?
Um, it definitely made me overall scared to share my work. Um, my mom didn't think twice of sharing it because she's proud of me. But when she said that, I remember at that event, the whole time I was worried that people are reading it and thinking, oh my God, it's so depressing. Or thinking it stinks or whatever. But I had multiple family members come up to me and say that it was, my poems were beautiful. And so that kind of made things better at that moment in that
Yeah.
time.
Because I mean,
Um,
what people that we love don't understand is that the littlest thing they say, their words have an impact, and that can affect like our confidence, our decision making, and
mhm.
sometimes even as far as like how much space we feel we're allowed to take up.
Yes. And of course, like she probably didn't think this was going to be a serious thing, you know. Um, I mean, that was over, geez, like 20 years ago. So that's a long time that somebody's one statement can impact.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. So you think that even though she's still not around, her voice still kind of is
yeah,
your own internal voice a little bit?
a little bit. And it's, I wish her all the best and all that if she happens to hear this. It's just, I don't think she even knew how important she was to me. Um,
Or she just didn't care and she was one of those people.
yeah, or that. So we'll give her I shouldn't give her the benefit of the doubt. So we'll just
No.
say, but
We protect Sarah
it,
at all costs around here.
I know, have to fight.
I
Um,
will riot.
you
And I
better.
have a
I know you
feeling
will.
like a dozen people will be behind me rioting too.
Yes, and that's what this, the writing community. I found you. I found, my agent siblings. It's just such a great um energy to be around. And there's other people like ourselves that have that creative soul and that heart, and that we have all been in that place of feeling like this and
What do you
wanting
think
to,
helped you start like reclaiming your voice again?
definitely my having children, um because I wrote Manon when Bo was one. So I just all of a sudden I was, I think I need to go after my dream because I want them to see me doing this.
Isn't it incredible what kids can do? And they
Yeah,
don't even
it's
intend
like,
to.
and it's
I I wrote my
they're
first book when I
amazing.
was pregnant with my first kid.
Yeah, it's just like that I just want to make them proud, myself
Yeah.
proud, but saying, "Oh wow, mom, went after her dreams. I can too." Um and it just I remember it was my daughter was in pre-K and they do this mummies like this Mother's Day, and we all go and the moms go and we sit there and they, before the event they ask the kids all these questions and they read them out loud. They say, Sarah's, Elida's mom, Sarah, what does your mom do? And then they thought she was joking, but she said, my mom writes books. And this was when she was 3 saying
Aw.
that, and now she's 6. But it was so like I was like, oh, and I was like, I really do write books. So they thought, like kids say funny thing, they're like, oh, she's really writing books. I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
she knows, they both know that that's what I'm doing. And it makes me happy that it's connecting,
Yeah,
and
it's almost like we're
Elida, she got a book for Christmas, How to Write a Story, and that just made me. She's like, I want to write a story, and she's only 6, but she's
oh my
getting there.
gosh.
Sweet.
When my 14-year-old was 7, he wrote a little Halloween picture book and colored the pages and everything. And he's like, I want to be author like you, mom. I'm like, oh.
Oh, you're like,
So that like I get that totally. That feeling is just it's indescribable, and especially when they're like bragging about you to everybody, you're like, oh well, I don't think I'm that great, but I'm glad you do.
I'm glad I'm that great to you. That's all that matters.
What do you think, looking back, do you think anything was taken from you, that you haven't gotten back, or do you feel you've reclaimed since then?
Maybe just time. I feel like I just not that I wasted time, but I had a whole other life, that I do now. Um, and maybe if she said something like, you need to write a book or you need to write a poetry book, these are great, you know, these things I printed out for your mom for the table, instead of saying, this is depressing shit. pieces of work, you know. So if there was words, you know, different contexts, because her voice was so powerful to me back then, it probably would have, you know, lit a fire under my ass, um, so to speak, to write instead of when, like, you know, I'm almost 40 now. So
Yeah.
but I mean, time, it's just a number, and I guess that's my time is now. So that's how I see it. You know, I didn't waste any time, but that's what I would say. It was just time taken away.
Yeah. Because I mean, they don't, these people don't realize that it costs us long term,
Hmm.
especially when it's someone we trust. And as much as you trusted her, like I can see how that has a long term effect. And I think even if she didn't do that, do you think that maybe things would have been different? You would have pursued writing earlier or
Um, it might have. I can't say it couldn't have, but it might have happened earlier than, you know, a few years ago.
yeah.
Because that, you know, that's been one like thing in my head. And then like I have so many great friends. Like my best friend Tara is such a support, and I appreciate her so much. Um, like she was my first beta read and everything, and so I have great friends. It's just that one, it's just one shitty friend. And that's
We
all it
all have
takes.
those.
It all takes that just one, you know, like I said, one voice to do something.
Your writing is really good. And I'm a firm believer of everything happens for a reason.
Yes.
And what is meant to be for you will be. And I think maybe the universe was just like, she's not ready at that time, but she's going to meet all these great people when she is ready. And you
Yeah.
did. And
And I
you're
did.
doing so
You're
great. And you're
right.
right. Your books are amazing. I love reading them. It's like a warm hug and with death and
Thank you.
scary things.
I love yours too.
Oh, well, thank you.
Love the spiciness. Maybe.
But yeah, well, it's gotten spicier.
Oh, I'm excited.
What do you wish people understood about how damaging this dynamic can be? Like something maybe you haven't already said, or, especially when it doesn't look abusive from the outside, like how this can actually be like an abusive dynamic if it goes on long term.
Yeah, some if it's more than just from like with one person saying one thing, you know. Also somebody not saying anything. The, you know, like family members knowing like what you're doing and not saying how's it going. Um, that can be also as damaging, silence, and um it's just, sorry, my kitten just came over.
You're fine. We
I
love
got
our
dis
babies.
I
I
got
have six.
distracted. I was like, ooh,
Oh
she's
my
not
gosh, I haven't
there.
seen the kitten since you sent me a picture.
Come here, Fifi.
I
Fifi,
love
come.
her name too. She's so adorable.
It's like, okay, leave me alone now. Sorry, what was the question?
No, you're good. You answered it. So I
Oh, I
just
did.
had,
Okay,
yeah.
good. I
If
want also
someone,
want to try to do this as quickly as we can so you can get those glass out of your throat.
oh my gosh, I know. No, well, it's out, but it's my throat is cut, so that's
Okay.
fun. So I gotta go to the ER and we're gonna figure out what to do with Meyer. I already called Meyer's corporate. I'm like, listen, y'all, I just ate food from your store and there is glass in it.
Yeah.
And then they first tried to offer me a gift card. I'm like, what?
What?
I have a cut in my throat.
You're like, I could have
There was
damage
glass in my
here.
food that was prepared food from your factory, and you want to offer me a gift card. Okay, I contacted a personal injury attorney, so we'll see how everything
Oh, here we
goes.
go. Oh my gosh. It's just never ending.
No, like there's always something with me, I swear. But if someone listening realizes they've been shrinking themselves creatively because of someone they love, like they heard this conversation and it kind of clicked for them, what's the first thing you'd want them to hear from you?
Um, I believe in you and your work, your words matter. Um, just because one person said something and made you feel like shit doesn't mean that defines you. And keep going and try to, I feel like maybe I wished I told her at that time that that hurt my feelings. So to tell the person who has said these things to you that it's hurt your feelings and that maybe you need some space.
Yeah, I think that's good advice. It's great
Mm-hmm.
advice. My next question's a tough one though.
Oh boy.
So, if you could be in a room with the version of yourself from back then who got diminished by that person you trusted, and you could sit face to face with that person right after it happened, what would you want her to know? What would you say to her?
Um, First of all, that you need to go on this journey, however it takes long it takes you. I wouldn't tell that version of me to immediately start writing because I definitely think she needed to go through some stuff. Um, Seasons to get to where I am now.
Yeah,
I believe I
absolutely.
probably was not as good as a writer as I was back then as I am now. So I would tell her to continue to write, not to stop, because I did not write for a long time, even poetry. I stopped writing for at least 5 years. And that's a big gap. So I would tell her to keep writing and improve crafts, go to, workshops, because I used to go to poetry workshops and I stopped going around that time. Um, and just to tell that person that said that it was not nice and that she needed to apologize. And if that apology was not given, then to, hopefully cut it off there because, it wouldn't have made a difference.
Right. Yeah,
My life
absolutely.
is, I feel like I've wanted to hold on to that person for so long, I made excuses.
Yeah. I
So I
think
would
we
tell myself that just, it's okay.
Which I think is good. And I don't think you should beat yourself up about it either because we've all been there. We've all had that person, whether it was a significant other or a friend or even a family member.
Yeah.
So I definitely think you did the right thing, what you thought you should do at that time, and it brought you to the person you are today. I do want to really say before we wrap this up that it does take a lot of courage to speak openly about how being diminished by someone you love affected you as a person and as a creative. So I
Mm-hmm.
want to thank you for trusting me and the listeners of Lioness Inc. and Insight enough to have this conversation out loud. I know this is going to resonate with people who didn't have words for their own experience yet, and I know it took a lot for you to have this conversation too. Is there any final thoughts you would like to leave listeners with today?
Just keep on writing, and if somebody makes you feel the way I felt, keep writing and go tell them to. Can we swear here?
Yes, we
Oh,
can.
oh yeah, tell them to fuck off. There you go. Wait, say like, can we swear on this?
I was talking with someone. I don't want to out that person, but we had a conversation about you, which I think I told you about this, and we said you when you get mad is like the most adorable thing.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
I know. I mean,
Uh,
I will fight for everybody I love. I will, advocate
oh yeah, no, I know. When that
and
person went through something, you were like, I want to just write in the comments, and they were like, she was so adorable.
yes, I did. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
but you know, same goes for all everybody. Um,
Yeah.
Even for people I don't know that are in the writing community, and if I see somebody, I'm like, what is going on? It's just X too, It's just
Yeah, it really is
that
lately. Yeah.
platform is, ugh. But
It's also because you're just a good
it's
person.
also great because it's met you there. So,
Right?
and my
So, yeah.
lovely agent, saw that she was open on X, and I was like, holy shit,
Yeah.
and it all
Right.
happened.
Just awesome. So if people leave comments on the post or the podcast, are you open to continuing the conversation or answering their questions?
Yes. Yes, that's totally fine.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for sitting down with me and talking about this. I'm genuinely grateful for your honesty and your voice, and am really proud of you for sharing it here.
Thank you. It was so fun.
I'd rather be a witch. Spit that curse, make the heavens glitch. You want calm, I want stone. I crack bones just to be reborn.
That's all for today. Thank you again for stepping into the den with me. And listeners, don't forget, I want to hear from you. So drop a comment or hit my DMs with conversation topics you want to hear or even be a part of. Your voice is valuable too. Let's work together to bring humanity into conversations and talk about what it means to build something honest in a tough world. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the many conversations I can't wait to have with you. You can subscribe for free or support the show even further with a paid subscription that gives you immediate access to exclusive content and special extras. As always, whether you've already clawed your way out of the darkness in your life or are still trapped inside, I'm here. Through Lioness Ink and Insight, I'll sit with you and paint a star of light in it to keep you company. You're not alone anymore. You're a member of my pride now, and I'll be the loud, fierce centennial holding a quiet space of healing for you, an escape from the darkness as you find your way to the light. Thank you for tuning in and joining me in the Pride Lands of Lioness Ink and Insight. Until next time, stay real, stay weird, stay fierce.
I want power, you play safe. I bloom sour, fuck being a princess. I'd rather be a witch. You'll bleed my truth, every scratch, every itch. You want grace, I want grit. You wear glass, I throw it.